855-6300.
The latest on the failing health of your favorite stars. Next ET.
Killed in action. For the first time, a U.S. soldier is killed by enemy fire in combat in Afghanistan. The war is not over. U.S. unemployment worsens, but there are signs we may have seen the worst of the recession. Health problems for Dolly the sheep raise new questions about the future of cloning. And Eye on America. Hate that Christmas gift? Why stores are making it harder than ever to return.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. For the first time in the war in Afghanistan, an American soldier, a U.S. Army Special Forces Green Beret, has been killed in action, in combat, by enemy fire. A CIA officer was wounded in the same engagement. Until now, most U.S. casualties, both killed and wounded, had resulted from so-called friendly fire, especially bombs that fell where they weren't supposed to. CBS's Wyatt Andrews reports that was not the case today in an Afghan province known for years as a terrorist training ground.
3 months into the war, and this was the first U.S. military death due to hostile fire. A Green Beret soldier was killed and a CIA agent wounded as they met local leaders near the town of Gardez.
There was an exchange of fire.
The war's commander, General Tommy Franks, said the soldier was part of a special forces team that was building contacts.
This American serviceman was doing his job, that he was out for the purpose of working with and coordinating with tribal leaders in that area.
The firefight happened in the same eastern province General Franks said is now the focus of the war. For 2 days now, American F-18s and heavy bombers have pounded a known al-Qaeda compound with more than 100 ton bombs. The training camp called Zawal Kili, near Khost, had been reoccupied by al-Qaeda forces.
The reason we struck it was because intelligence indicated that there was al-Qaeda activity in and around this complex.
In the meantime, the search has intensified for Osama bin Laden and for Taliban leader Omar. The intelligence chief for Kandahar, Haji Gulalai, today told CBS News that Omar has been wounded in the war and that local intelligence teams will soon capture him. I am 100% positive, he says, that Mullah Omar cannot escape the intelligence forces we have hunting him. Our mission is being successful. Gulalai's team is also negotiating the surrender of former Taliban loyalists in the mountain town of Baghran. General Franks today said U.S. forces are watching this closely. They are gathering weapons and checking for senior leaders the U.S. may want to question. The firefight that killed that Special Forces officer is described as brief and very intense. But the Pentagon is still not sure if the attackers were Taliban, al-Qaeda, or even bandits. The wounded CIA agent, meanwhile, was evacuated and is expected to recover. Dan?
Live from the Defense Department, Wyatt Andrews. As Wyatt just reported, the area of eastern Afghanistan where today's fighting, possibly an ambush, took place, is well known to U.S. war planners and intelligence officials. And the heart of the region is a town called Khost, just a dozen miles from the Pakistan border.
This is the site.
It is not the first time the town of Khost has been a focal point in the United States war on terror.
There was a lot of destruction. Also, the trees were blown away.
This was the view over Khost in August of 1998, a suspected terrorist training compound run by Osama bin Laden. But when the U.S. connected bin Laden to the 1998 bombings of 2 U.S. embassies in East Africa, it retaliated.
Today, I ordered our armed forces to strike at terrorist-related facilities in Afghanistan and Sudan.
Dozens of 1,000-pound Tomahawk cruise missiles rained down on the site, just miles from the Pakistan border. CBS News got a rare look at the aftermath.
There was no warning at all. We didn't expect this, actually. Still, we cannot believe it.
And the missiles may not have been enough to drive bin Laden's forces away. Pentagon officials feared al-Qaeda forces were about to regroup there, so they decided to bomb it again in November and yet again heavily over the past 2 days. And it was just a few miles west of that site that the still unidentified Green Beret lost his life in today's firefight. As for Afghanistan's feuding nuclear neighbors, Pakistan and India, both countries' leaders attended opening ceremonies today at a regional summit in Nepal, but there was no sign of easing tensions. Earlier, Pakistan's leader visited Beijing, and a Pakistani official said China promised to, quote, support Pakistan in all eventualities. In the Middle East, Israeli warships intercepted a cargo vessel owned by Yasser Arafat's Palestinian Authority and found it loaded with arms and ammunition. CBS's David Hawkins reports it was a new setback for U.S. efforts to defuse the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Israel says the weapons came from Iran and were headed for the Palestinian Authority. The ship, which surrendered without a fight to the Israeli Navy in the Red Sea, contained 50 tons of arms and munitions, including Katyusha rockets, anti-tank mines, mortars, assault rifles, and explosives. It's proof, says Israel's military chief of staff, that the Palestinian Authority is playing a double game, pretending to want peace, but preparing for war.
The smuggled attempt emphasized and points directly at the Palestinian Authority intention to continue a strategy of terror and violence, increasing and escalating over time.
Palestinian officials say they don't know anything about the arms shipment. One called the seizure an Israeli propaganda stunt, timed to sabotage U.S. Special Envoy Anthony Zinni's attempt to restart peace talks. They say it's the Israeli government that's not serious about returning to the negotiating table, pointing to continued Israeli raids into Palestinian territory. Zinni's last trip to the region was cut short by a surge of terrorism and violence. Now, returning after more than 2 weeks of relative quiet, he's cautiously optimistic.
I'm hopeful, and I feel that we have the conditions that are right to make progress this time.
This time may be different. Both Palestinians and Israelis say they want a ceasefire that will stick. The problem is both sides think the other side's lying. David Hawkins, CBS News, Tel Aviv.
In this country, the government reports the unemployment rate edged up 0.2 of a point in December to 5.8%. That's the highest rate in more than 6 years. Stock prices were up today, at least partly because, as CBS' Anthony Mason reports, there were some positive signs in that jobless report.
We do have some jobless jobs as well.
The jobless rate spiked up again in December, but the rate of its rise is slowing down. Another sign, some say, the economy is turning around.
The slowing of layoff announcements does suggest that we're past the bottom. We're coming out of the recession.
Still, AT&T announced 5,000 layoffs today. Ask the unemployed, the job market just keeps getting tighter.
And each month since October, different people and more people have been receiving layoffs, so it's getting pretty intense.
The average job search in the spring of 2001 was a little over 2 months. Now it takes almost 3.5. But the economy continues to send conflicting signals. United Airlines announced another 900 job cuts this week, but the private jet business has been booming since September 11th.
The interest has been heightened tremendously.
So Kevin Russell of NetJets is looking to hire 600 more pilots this year. The nation's largest private employer, Walmart, with more than 1 million workers, plans to add 75,000 jobs in 2002. But the retail sector in all lost 77,000 jobs in December. Disney says it will close 50 more stores. And economists say the job market will get worse before it gets better.
Unemployment should rise a little bit more and might cross above 6%.
But remember, says Jeremy Siegel, that coming out of a recession,
the unemployment rate is the last indicator to turn around. So it should not be disturbing if that really goes up for 3-4 more months.
One reason, companies don't hire aggressively until they're sure a recovery is well underway. And while the economic numbers may be getting better, most employers are still waiting to see the economy bring home some higher grades. Dan?
Anthony Mason, thanks. And the state of the U.S. economy is kicking off a new political battle featuring President George Bush and Senate Democratic leader Tom Daschle. They are fighting for public opinion over who has the better plan to grow the economy and who is responsible for the end of federal budget surpluses. CBS's John Roberts talked to Senator Daschle one-on-one for this report.
Call it the opening salvo of campaign 2002. Democrats today cast the swing from budget surplus to deficit as the most dramatic fiscal deterioration in our nation's history. They sought to lay blame squarely on President Bush's tax cut.
A year ago, we had the resources and the flexibility to make virtually any urgent investments we needed. We don't have that flexibility or those resources today because Republicans chose ideology over experience.
To help stimulate a sagging economy, Senate Majority Leader Tom Daschle unveiled what he called a growth agenda, including new short-term targeted tax cuts to help businesses hire employees and buy equipment. That contrasts with President Bush's plan to give business broader tax cuts over a longer period of time. Taking a page out of Bill Clinton's playbook, Democrats believe the economy is the best way to attack a president with sky-high wartime approval ratings.
I think people are very supportive of what has happened in our efforts in Afghanistan and around the world in dealing with terrorism, but they're increasingly concerned about the fact that they may not have a job.
Wary of what happened to his father 10 years ago, President Bush is determined not to give any ground to the Democrats. He'll campaign for his economic stimulus plan in both his radio address and at a California town hall meeting this weekend. But with razor-thin margins determining control of Congress, we're likely to see more rhetoric than results this year from both sides.
This is less about the competing ideas between the parties on the economy and more about blame game. And if you can blame the other guy come voting day in November, you've got a better shot at winning control of Congress.
Voters don't seem to be in much of a mood to blame the president, and with recent polls showing the Democrats' traditional advantage on the economy all but gone, there certainly is a real risk for backfire here. Dan?
Our White House correspondent John Roberts. The creators of Dolly the cloned sheep revealed today she has developed early arthritis. This raises new questions about premature aging and other defects in cloned animals, including those now being bioengineered to supply organs for human transplants. CBS News medical correspondent Elizabeth Callerton has more on the growing clone debate.
When she was born, Dolly, the world's first cloned sheep, was hailed as a perfect specimen.
She's a perfectly healthy animal.
But 6 years later, that's not the case. Dolly has arthritis. It's not uncommon in sheep, but Dolly has it at a younger than normal age, raising the specter of a genetic defect and unforeseen problems with cloning procedures.
We were always aware that there was a risk that we would find things like this, but obviously we were very disappointed.
Dolly's setback comes hoof in hand with the latest breakthrough in cloning, piglets designed specifically for human organ transplants. The pigs lack a gene that causes the human immune system to reject their tissue. The hope is one day pig organs could be mass-produced to relieve the shortage of human organs.
Patients are dying every day waiting for transplants, and therefore it's worth going on with this work.
But Dolly's problems have cast a pall over the piglets and have given more ammunition to those who believe cloning research is dangerous and unethical. Many say it should be stopped, citing numerous problems with other cloning experiments. But after weighing all the pros and cons, ethicist George Agich believes the science should proceed with caution.
That any kind of cloning really brings along with it uncertain results at this point.
Dr. David Sachs believes we'll never know the potential of cloning, good and bad, unless we keep on going.
This is a new field, and clearly we have a lot to learn about the effects that cloning will have on the long-term effects on the animal and on the organs from that animal.
Experts admit they don't know if Dolly's problems are the result of cloning or just fate. But they do know, 6 years after her birth, cloning, like these baby pigs, remains in its infancy. Elizabeth Callerton, CBS News, New York.
Coming up next on the Friday CBS Evening News, southern discomfort, snow, sleet, and a hard freeze make for hard travel and mounting economic losses.
This is my killer DVD system.
This is my killer DVD rental section.
You have the hardware, Blockbuster has the software. This week at Blockbuster, you'll find all the hottest new movies, and they're guaranteed to be there, even on DVD. Choose from great titles like The Fast and the Furious, Pearl Harbor, and Rush Hour 2. All the biggest movies, and you can find them at Blockbuster, guaranteed. Blockbuster, bringing entertainment home.
Why do I eat Healthy Choice Beef Tips Portobello?
Why? Because it has lean, tender chunks of beef in a delicious mushroom sauce with crisp vegetables.
Real food just for me.
Why? Because my body needs balanced nutrition from meals that are 97% fat-free and low in cholesterol, with vitamins A and C and iron.
Why do I eat Healthy Choice?
It helps me do the things I like to do. That's why.
Healthy Choice. Feel-good food.
I'm returning my elf uniform.
That's nice. This is the gift return line.
Oh. Oh. Dude. Should ask for Adele.
The holidays are over, but you can still get a Dimension desktop with an Intel Pentium 4 processor for just $8.99. Call or go online today and get a $100 rebate.
I know.
Easy to buy, easy to own, easy as Dell.
Thinking about Viagra? It's now available in a free 6-pill sample pack.
6? That's my number.
So get in the driver's seat and ask about the free Viagra sample pack.
Get to your doctor for a checkup and find out if a free sample of Viagra is right for you.
For more information, race over to Viagra.com.
Do you love corn on the cob just dripping with butter? Then you're gonna love this. Orville Redenbacher's Corn on the Cob Gourmet Microwave Popping Corn. It's an irresistible way to kick back, relax, and get Orvilleized.
I should use Preparation H.
Cool it fast with Preparation H Cooling Gel. Cools on contact for fast relief. Preparation H Cooling Gel cools on contact.
Millions of people are still coping tonight with the aftermath of the storm that brought snow and sleet from Louisiana to Maryland. And the South could be in for another round of nasty weather. CBS's Mark Strassman is on the weather watch in North Carolina.
Outside Raleigh, a tractor-trailer jackknifed on an icy patch of I-40 and stalled eastbound traffic for 5 hours. The South's heaviest snow in a decade has finally stopped falling, but a storm of misery goes on.
The roads are kind of tricky, man. You hit a little bit of that black ice, man, and you end up in the ditch before you know it. 16 to base.
Tow trucking is North Carolina's new growth industry. Today, hundreds of stranded cars were hauled from snowbanks into repair shops. In Atlanta, Delta Airlines has apologized to 50,000 customers disrupted during the storm. The airline canceled 1,000 flights. Some passengers waited 6 or 7 hours for planes to be de-iced. R.C. Wilson is still struggling to get home after 3 days in Atlanta's airport, stranded with her children.
They kicked us out of the food court because we couldn't sleep there, so they finally fell asleep, so it was like, it's been ridiculous.
So watches if they're needed tomorrow morning.
And now meteorologists in the South forecast even more wintry misery, freezing rain, and possible snow by Sunday.
Everyone's looking for a little bit of a break, and now all of a sudden you throw the potential for a cold rain and even some ice into the mix here as we go into the first weekend of the new year. So, yeah, the timing's not great.
That ice storm could be more treacherous than this week's snow. It's a 1-2 punch from winter that the normally sunny South could do without. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Charlotte.
There is new concern tonight over what is killing the killer whales. With their numbers dwindling, there were desperate efforts to save this one off the Pacific Northwest coast. Marine animal experts have towed it away from shore. The whale kept beaching itself near the site where another whale, believed to be its mate, came ashore and died. You are watching the CBS Evening News, and up next, Eye on America. Scrooge replaces Santa at the department store.
The CBS Evening News and tonight's Eye on America segment are sponsored by new Pepcid Complete. Just one and heartburn's done.
You're just begging for heartburn, aren't you?
What are you doing?
Forget about these. Here, Norman turned me on to Pepsi Complete.
And?
And I tried one. One. That's all it took.
One?
Mm-hmm. Complete works fast like those, but lasts like those. Just one controls acid all day.
Lasts all day.
Nothing else like it. Where are you going?
Sausages, anyone?
Pepcid Complete. Just one, and heartburn's done.
I thought dating again would be tough.
He's cute. Is he younger than me?
Maybe getting rid of my gray hair was just what I needed.
Just for men. More than a hair color, it's a hair rejuvenator. Gray hair is shampooed away in 5 easy minutes. Vitamin-enriched Just for Men brings back a thicker, healthier, natural look.
I wonder how I did tonight.
Would you like to come in?
Just for Men, the rejuvenator.
Thinking about Viagra? It's now available in a free 6-pill sample pack.
6? That's my number.
So get in the driver's seat and ask about the free Viagra sample pack.
Get to your doctor for a checkup and find out if a free sample of Viagra is right for you.
For more information, race over to Viagra.com.
Your doctor says take fiber every day. But how do you know which one? Metamucil gives you a gloppy glass. But Citruscell is different. It's 100% soluble, and people prefer its taste 2-to-1 over Metamucil. And unlike Metamucil, Citruscell won't give you excess gas. Citruscell. Don't just have a regular day, have a great day. Available in caplets and powder.
Looking for a quiet moment? Get a quieter cookie. Soft, fruit chewy Fig Newtons. Time out from the everyday crunch.
We were cooking till my arthritis pain flared up. So I took control with Advil. Nothing, not Tylenol, not Aleve, nothing's proven stronger or lasts longer than Advil.
You have the strength to get rid of pain. Take control. Take Advil.
Is the day coming when college athletes will no longer be content to play for the glory of it all and will want to be paid? 60 Minutes, Sunday.
If you didn't get what you wanted for Christmas, well, neither did the stores. Sales were disappointing. And now, if you try to return what you didn't want, you're likely to run into something you didn't expect. CBS's Sandra Hughes reports tonight's Eye on America.
Fearing a holiday season sales flop, retailers made it easy to buy. But as Christine Kalinowski found out, stores are not making it easy to return.
I didn't want cash. I wanted just to refund on my credit card. And that, they didn't want to do that either.
You have your receipt? Some retailers used to give cash for returned items even without a receipt. But the economy may have changed that.
Well, the biggest reason why we saw changes in 2001 is that retailers are struggling to make any profits at all, and retailers are trying to figure out ways to cut their costs.
For instance, JCPenney says it changed its return policy this fall as expense control. It used to give cash back without a receipt. Now only a store credit will be issued. The Gap company, which owns Old Navy and Banana Republic, tightened its policy as well. Now, even if you paid by check and have a receipt, you can't get cash back as before. You'll have to wait for a check from the Gap in the mail. And at Old Navy, where last year you could get cash with a gift receipt, now you'll just get store credit. But many retailers say it's not the economy and it's not new, just good business sense.
It can cost up to 30% of an item's price to reshelve it. And over the past few years, retailers have found more people trying to cheat, like buying something at a discount store and returning it to a department store.
Retailers want to be fair to the customer, and they're only trying to prevent fraudulent return practices.
But with studies showing consumers ranked customer service as a top priority this Christmas, retailers could get stung.
That consumer will walk out of the store saying, I'm not coming back.
Christine Kalinowski said she wouldn't leave until she got a refund.
So eventually she gave it to me, but it was like pulling teeth.
If the new policies fall flat with consumers, analysts predict some stores may be pressured to change back for a season of happier returns. In Los Angeles, this is Sandra Hughes for Eye on America.
Where is that?
Heartburn. Zantac 75 knows it comes in many shapes and sizes. Brought on by food or triggered by stress. But fast heartburn relief anytime always comes in this shape, this size. Zantac. When there's too much acid, Zantac quickly blocks the strongest acid trigger to relieve heartburn fast. Yet it's so gentle, you can use it anytime. Whatever the shape or size of your heartburn, remember Zantac, the shape of fast heartburn relief anytime.
Moo.
Looking for an incredible deal on a computer? Just call 1-800-GATEWAY, because right now you can get a Gateway 300S desktop complete with an Intel Celeron processor, 17-inch monitor, a 20-gigabyte hard drive, and a CD burner, all for just $7.99. That's a fully loaded desktop for only $7.99. To take advantage of this special offer, call 1-800-GATEWAY. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Change for $1.
Sure. Introducing the all-new Chevy Avalanche. The only vehicle that changes from an SUV to a pickup.
Thanks.
Chevy Avalanche, Motor Trend's 2002 Truck of the Year. Avalanche, like a rock.
Looking for a quiet moment? Get a quieter cookie. Soft, fruit chewy Fig Newtons. Time out from the everyday crunch.
If you have high blood pressure, you know all these cold medicines warn you not to take them. So take their advice. Don't take them. Take decongestant-free Coricidin HBP. Powerful relief that won't raise your blood pressure.
What's the secret to success? Hard work, desire, and a phone. Right now, you can get 8 weeks of the Wall Street Journal for just 38 cents a day. That's over 60% off the cover price. Just call 800-719-5100. That's 800-719-5100 for the Wall Street Journal.
How are they selecting those who will be able to see President Bush when he arrives in Portland tomorrow? The latest on the president's Oregon trip. That's it.
In our evening news end notes, a story about heads caught our eye. Researchers have found a link between the shape of a person's head and snoring. That's right, for whatever it may be worth and may not be worth much, they say the rounder your head, the more likely it is you snore. The reason, as the head gets wider, the air passageway in the throat can get narrower, causing snoring. So if he looks like this, he may bid you have a nice day, but chances are he will keep you up all through the night. Coming up next week on the CBS Evening News, faulty batteries that can make smart bombs do dumb and dangerous things, the sentencing of FBI spy Robert Hansen, and a car with replaceable bodies, minivan by day, sports car by night. That's next week. Now from 48 Hours, Susan Spencer.
A 14-year-old girl vanishes, lured here to Greece by a man more than twice her age. It's part of an internet conspiracy, a web of seduction.
I just knew she was probably going to be dead.
Tonight on 48 Hours.
48 Hours tonight at 10, 9 Central. Now, before we leave you, I want to say goodbye to our colleague, Eric Ingberg.
Time out! 400...
Ingberg, whose signature reality checks have long been a part of this broadcast, exposed hypocrisy and pomposity and covered some of the biggest stories of the past quarter century. Eric Ingberg, CBS News correspondent, is retiring tonight. We will miss his professionalism, his humor, his style, his friendship, and his great journalism. For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the internet and on our interactive partner, America Online, at keyword CBS News.
Work off those extra pounds the smart way on the Saturday Early Show.